Linda Krall.
Now, tell me about your family.
We farm in Cornwall, my husband and I, and our son and his wife and grandchildren. And my daughter is working on a farm by herself, and her grandchildren are at home helping Dad farm. So
Tell me some names here.
Okay, my husband's Glenn, my son is Jason, his wife is Carrie, my daughter is Stacy Krall, and her grandchildren are Kyle, Renee, and Dylan. And they go to Northern Lebanon School, and my other two grandchildren are Aaron and Evan, and they go to Cedar Crest.
That's a wonderful family.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. So, I understand that you have done all kinds of things in education and helped with disasters, like during droughts and hailstorms and floods with other family farmers. And you do it all out of kindness, and you have high yield corn and you do tours on your farm. What's going on here? What motivates you to do all this stuff?
Well, you need to educate the public, and that's the only way you can. When my children were growing up and going to school, when the teacher found out they were on a farm, I would always say that the school class is welcome to come, and they learn a lot when they come to a farm, things they never know where their food comes from. The teacher always, and people always say, they think it comes from the grocery store. So it's a good way to teach them where their food comes from and how it is processed.
So your children motivated you to get started.
Yes.
And what keeps you going? The grandchildren?
Grandchildren are big motivators, but once you start it, it's something you just can't stop because there's such a need there. So to help fulfill that need, somebody has to open their farm and do tours, and we do that every year with the Farm City tours, so that's great that they keep doing that one too.
And that's with the Chamber of Commerce.
This is with the Chamber of Commerce, correct.
Okay. And since 1984, you've been involved with Farm Women, and you might be a president or something?
Well, I was president and did my term, and Farm Women is getting older and it's harder to get the young people, so I'm back as president again.
Aha, that's how they do. They hooked you in. And you also do something with the state Farm Women, or is that?
I was on the board with the state Farm Women. When you're president, then you're automatically on the state board. But I'm involved a lot with the young farmers, and there I was on the state board.
Okay, and why the young farmers?
Well, young farmers, their motto is any farmer that's willing to learn is a young farmer. So you're never too old to be a young farmer. We have members in the 80s. In the high 80s already, and they just love coming to the meetings, and they said they always still learn something, so as long as they keep learning, they're going to keep coming to the young farmers.
Well, I just learned something. I thought it was just for students in high school.
Well, young farmers is after you graduate from school and do the FFA, it's an adult education. It's still connected to the Department of Education.
Well, and you also work with Penn State Extension?
Yes.
And research trials, test products. Talk about that.
Well, this extension, there's always new products on the market, and they want to verify that, do test trials out on the farms, and so they can tell the farmers that this is really a product that should be pursued further. And commodities, we'll do trials and see which one yields higher, and then we do a 5-acre corn contest every year. And that's throughout the whole state, and compare yields, and the highest yield gets wonderful prizes.
Well, now, was there one of these tests that helped you to become one of the highest yields for corn on your farm, or is it your soil, or what do you attribute your high yield to that everybody tries to emulate?
Well, I said this year we had top yield in soybeans this year. My husband was second, and I was third in the state with corn. So the soybeans and the corn, we just contributed to the rainfall. I said you can do all you can do to buy a good product and plant it and do your best to nurture it, but it's still Mother Nature in the end who blesses you or doesn't. And we're all in the mercy of Mother Nature.
Okay, so
like for your gardens too, it's some year you get a wonderful garden, and next year it's just not as good.
All right, so it wasn't some skill you picked up, just a certain test product you did. It all still comes back to God and Mother Nature and what happens in the environment.
That's a lot of it, but the test trials tell you what good products to use. And weed control is very important, so you want to get your best product, and pricing, you know, don't want to have a lot of money in your acres, so you want to have a good income in the end.
Okay, so do you get your nails dirty or do you drive the tractor? What do you do exactly?
I'm his tractor driver. He plants corn, I plant beans, and we work the fields, and it's nice to see the grandchildren coming and being able to take over some of these jobs now, but you know, they love tractor driving.
Does your tractor have air conditioning?
Yes, it does.
Oh, because otherwise it'd be awfully hot.
Well, these new technologies in these new tractors, you'd be surprised. My tractor is equipped with what's called GPS and auto steer. So when I get to the end, I turn it around and push the button and let go of the steering wheel, and the tractor takes me to the other end of the field. It's amazing, the new technology that's out there today.
That is amazing. Okay, so Lebanon Area Fair, how are you involved with that?
I'm on the fair board. This is my second year with the fair board, so I like to take one, say, like if I'm doing farm women, I like to nurture that. So when I was done with young farmers, I got off the board with that, and I thought, well, I'll get on the fair board. So I like to do a term and then get younger people in and kind of step back and let them take over that.
Okay.
So
somebody looking you up years from now, could be a grandchild, could be somebody you touched that you showed them what a cow is, you know, and they were from the city or something. What words of advice would you give to them?
pursue your dream. Don't give up on what you love, because I love farming. It is what I love and love what I do. So if you're passionate for something, pursue it, and don't be afraid to let other doors open and say broaden your horizon. And because sometimes there's something new comes up and you thought, wow, I just really like doing that.
Keep an open mind.
Keep an open mind. You're right.
Well, thank you. That was wonderful.
Thank you.